Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Star Citizen Alpha 3.17.2. This is just a quick run, hopefully. I'm just going to give you guys an idea of what the game is like in its current state. This is a game that a lot of people are familiar with who are following the space sim genre, as this was kickstarted in I think 2012, and well, it's sort of been kind of like a running joke because the game is still in alpha 10 years later. But that having been said, it's actually in pretty good condition and it seems to be getting better and better. So despite all of the cynicism, it is quite fun, and the best part about it is the open world aspect of the PU, player universe, or persistent universe rather. Is not overcrowded. It's got just enough people, roughly 100 players. And as far as that goes, it seems to be just right at the moment. So it may change, of course, like everything else by the time it's released. But I like what they did recently. Basically, all of the hangars now are inside the station. That's a big deal for me because I just wanted to experience gameplay without the heavy space suits. Now those are cool. Obviously you can't survive without them if you're out in the vacuum of space, but more importantly they are really cool for the EVA. Basically you can literally float around. You can float around outside your ship, all kind of fun stuff that you can do there. You can board enemy ships, you name it. But I wanted to know what it was like just to be able to, wear normal attire while, doing space stuff. And now that all the hangars are indoors, it actually is something that's doable now. So, my guy, he's not very complicated individual. You can do a lot of combat in this game, and it is fun. Doesn't matter whether you like to be in a ship or on the ground, you're going to get great combat in this game. The only real gripe I have about it at the moment, the the foot soldiers that you fight on the ground are really stupid. They're kind of stupid, but sooner or later they're going to fix that. It's mainly a limitation of the network, when they're doing that open world stuff. So let me see here. Yes, wide forest. Request permission to take off. Ah, good. So this is my mining ship. It's called a Prospector, as you can see here. Now, given the fact that the game's been in development for about 10 years and has made over $400 million without having been released yet, you can imagine how some people would be cynical about it, but it's beautiful. I mean, every ship is handcrafted. Basically, everything is handcrafted in this game. There are prefabs, but, that's something you don't see a lot, especially when it comes to the ships. All the ships are very meticulously designed and have, real functioning mechanics that make sense. The size of the ship, the size of, each component in the ship is taken into account. They really do. I mean, they put their money to work with phenomenal design. But, of course, people are complaining because it's very buggy. And, they're not wrong. It's an extremely buggy experience. Sometimes to the point where it's like, you really do understand why people are upset and you almost feel sympathy for them. But they do tell you, when you jump into the game, and you do have to pay to play, but you only pay once. It's a single upfront fee. You pledge, basically. And it's just about the same amount as you would expect to pay for a AAA game. But, then that's it. You don't have to pay again. You get to play whenever you want. So in that sense, it's a lot better than, subscription-based games where you just have to throw money at it every month. But, at the same time, every time you launch the game, you have to hit this acknowledge button that basically indicates that you're aware that you are playing an alpha. That everything is tentative, and you don't know what's going to change. Anything can change at a moment's notice. You may be in a position where you're thrilled about something that you accomplished. Well, a week or a month or a year later, it could be wiped off the server, and that's expected. Regular wipes happen. So the only thing that you get to keep when a wipe occurs is whatever you pledged for when you paid for the game. So in that sense, you can see how some people can get caught up in the ship buying part of it. Not exactly a good thing, especially for people who have impulse control issues with their money. But for me, I just have a decent starter ship, and that's good enough for me. Because quite frankly, it's not that difficult to make money in the game. To buy the ships with in-game money is actually quite reasonable. You could get a really, really good high-tier combat ship within a few months, or if you're an expert, a few weeks of playing. I don't think I would do that because that would just be too much of a grind. But there are people out there who know how to do that, and they do it. What I like doing, and it doesn't matter how much money I have, I really enjoy doing this, is I like to mine. Because mining may sound egregiously boring to some people, but let me try to explain why it's so interesting. First of all the mechanics are quite involved. So you actually do get, a lot of detail to the mining experience. You have to understand what you're doing. You have to understand the risk involved. You have to understand basically what a good rock is versus what a no good rock is. And as you can see, if you look in the cockpit, my guy's wearing his street clothes. So that's what I was hoping to experience. And since they made the hangar change, he gets to wear his street clothes, which is awesome. Anyway, so let's see, what do we want to go to here? So basically, this is where I mine. I just recently started mining here because it is very useful to mine in an area that has... Well, that doesn't sound good. Let's see. Let's go there. It's useful to mine somewhere where you're going to be able to quickly scan rocks. And right now, because of a certain trick that somebody told everybody about on YouTube, there's actually a very, very easy trick to this. I'll see if I can hopefully explain it. A little bit of stutter. It's not optimized. It will be soon for newer computers and stuff like that. It's very CPU heavy, so even if you have a really good graphics card, it has a tendency to stutter. Okay, quantum drive off. Let's go look for rocks. So to explain this as best as I can, I'll just kind of lay it on you, the basics of mining in this game on whether it's in space or on a surface, is pretty straightforward. Basically, what you do, more or less, is you just try to find something called Quantanium, and as long as your ship is fitted out, properly, what you can do is you can mine this really valuable material, which is, responsible for quantum travel, which is what you saw me doing a moment ago. Faster than light is all quantum travel, not warp travel. So same principle as all the sci-fi stuff you're familiar with already, but instead of warp they call it quantum. It's essentially the same thing, but Quantanium is necessary for this process, so obviously it's extremely valuable. But here's the catch: Quantanium is dangerous stuff. It will blow you up if you don't get it to a refinery in time. And you have about 15 minutes to get this stuff to a refinery before it explodes in your hold, taking you and your ship with you. So there's a lot of interesting scenarios that pop up during a process like this. But the key thing here is that you got to scan for rocks. But there's this trick that moon miners can do where they can zoom in and they can scan for singles or doubles. Now, singles could be Quantanium, but it's no guarantee. So while I could literally fly around and look at every single individual rock, it would take me forever to find Quantanium that way. So I could do a 360 scan, which is what I just did a second ago. Get a whole bunch of contacts, and then I zoom into a 2% scan, and then I point my reticle here, not the gray circle, but the white one, and I right at each contact. And what I'm looking for is those little white diamonds that pop up. The goal here is that the white diamond can't be by itself. There has to be multiple white diamonds. What that means is that there's multiple contacts as far as potential resources go. Zoom out, scan, zoom back in, scan individual hits, basically. And this dramatically increases the speed of finding a reasonable deposit. Because, I mean, could you imagine... Yep, there's two. There's two right there. Could you imagine just flying around, just having to go up to each one? Because you really have to fly all the way up to it to really know what it is. Even with a scanner, you only have so much. I'm in a restricted area. Well, that's not good. But if that's Quantanium, then I don't care. So, let's see. I don't know what happens if you mine in a restricted area. I've never done it before. It is entirely possible that I might get blown up, but we will find out. Because I'd rather get the money. I'm here to get that money. So, yes, this is Quantanium. That rock is just barely worth mining. Not very promising. Let's check this one here. Oh, this one's even worse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a restricted area, and that rock, honestly, doesn't have a lot of Quantanium in it. So I'm going to fly away from that area because it's a restricted area. Not trying to die. I don't even know if they shoot at you. I'm not going to take any chances. There's really no reason to. I don't want to be below the clouds. Yep, there we go. Okay. So, where was I versus where I am now? I'm basically heading south from my previous position. So, oh no, north. I'm an idiot. That was... Okay, yeah. We're going north from my previous position. And it wasn't necessarily a bad rock. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't necessarily a bad rock. It just... First of all, I was in a restricted area. I have no idea what that means. I don't think they blow you up until you get close to a sentry gun, but still, regardless, I'm not taking any chances. Especially because I don't even know if I get to keep this ship. They did some updates recently, and it's entirely possible that they might take this ship from us because a lot of us got more money than we were supposed to on the recent update. And they had to roll that back. And a lot of people were pissed, as you can imagine. So the problem is that... Ooh, that was quick. The problem is that, you know, it was really their fault. Because they said, oh, we're going to reward everybody. And they did, and it was kind of cool. You know, for being a part of the previous patch cycle. You know, if you were a part of the previous... This is not Quantanium, I don't think. I don't know what this is. This is Quantanium. What the hell? There's a lot of rocks here. That is a lot of rocks. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, long story short, in the previous patch cycle, they wanted to reward people who were a part of the previous patch cycle by hours played. So the more hours you played in the previous patch cycle, that's terrible, then... You know, the more money you would start the next patch cycle with. And that was kind of cool. I was pretty impressed with that. I thought that was the right way to do it. But they made a mistake. They gave people way too much money. And I mean they gave people way too much money. Just to give you an idea, I mean, just me, you know, with an average playtime, not a lot, not a little, I was able to... I could have bought like a fleet of 10 ships with the money that they started me with the new patch. And it was like, immediately I knew something was wrong. I was like, I don't think that they meant to give us that much credits. And you know, certainly a lot of people knew right off the bat, you know, it was like, yeah, this was a mistake. They clearly did not want to do this. You know, they're going to do something to roll it back. You know, anybody who got, you know, any idea of how this company works, they don't want people starting a new patch cycle with that much money. It just doesn't make any sense. This one's just barely a decent rock. So I'm going to go ahead and mine it just to give you all an impression of what mining looks like. Why do I still have my landing gear? I must have hit that by accident. Get up there. Okay, anyway. The reason why you don't see atmosphere is because there's almost no atmosphere. This is a moon, so there's a little bit of just the tiniest bit of an atmosphere, but that's it. Anywho, here we go. Gonna mine me some Quantanium. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, you know, anybody who knew anything about how this company works was aware that it was a mistake. And I'm going to surge this because this is taking too long. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That was a little bit too much. I almost blew the rock up. That was not part of the plan. Very lucky to be alive right now. Whew. Just slowly throttling back up to full power here. There we go. You got to keep it in the green. For those of you who are not aware, the red zone is death, basically. So as you can see on that right side over there, optimal is good, overcharge is bad, and I was clearly in overcharge. So yeah, no bueno. But somehow managed to survive myself on that one. So where's the goodies? Okay, this chunk is useless, but that's good. Let's see here. Is that the entire chunk? No, wait, there's two there. There's two. There's another one down here. There actually might be three. More junk? Cool. Okay. And there's another one, I believe, here. Yep, that's a separate one. Oh, it's getting dark. We're on the dark side of the moon. Let's see here. And this one. Oh, that's got to be Quantanium. That's pure Quantanium. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was well distributed. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Basically, the goal is get as much Quantanium as you can without anything else polluting that particular load. So inert materials is like the worst. As you can see, most of it ended up over here. So that's a big plus. Get those inert materials out of the equation as quickly as you can. You want pure Quantanium. You're sometimes going to succeed, you're sometimes going to fail. Like this rock right here, I'm gonna fracture this one again. And the reason why I'm doing it is because this particular piece is almost half and half. So we're going to start with that. I know we're good over here. This one's pure Quantanium, but I'd like to get a little bit more if I can. So let me see if I can see what happens when I mess with this one here. That surge damn near blew that rock up. That is as close as you can get to blowing yourself to bits as humanly possible without actually doing it. Got to be really, really careful. The smaller the fragment is, the less power you need, and it's very, very easy to overcharge. See, I'm like at 8% and it's overcharged. Here we go. Nice solid 4%. Let's go to 8 again. Let's go to 12, 11, 12, 14. And you just have to feel it out, basically. So, but the biggest risk is the Quantanium. But I'll tell you what, the second biggest risk, especially for moon mining, is the pirate presence. Which I'm not talking about, you know, NPC pirates. I'm talking about human players who literally come out here to kill your ass. Right now, it's not as big of a threat as it will be in the future. The reason why is because at the moment, at least, there's, really not a lot of incentive to go after players, because you can't really grab their cargo. You can blow them up just to grief them, but that's the extent of what you can do to them. But here's the thing. They're going to do something with cargo soon. It's called the refactor. And all cargo is actually going to be as real as it gets, which means piracy will actually have a purpose when they do that. So the long and the short of that is, once the cargo refactor is done, everything that survives an attack can be grabbed. And so piracy is going to be a big problem when that happens. All right, let's not blow ourselves to bits. The goal here is to stay in one piece while grabbing the most volatile substance in the universe. Right now, Star Citizen is comprised of one solar system, but they are working on a second system called Pyro, and it's going to be a different, so they literally only have one star system in the whole alpha, and a lot of people, use that as like a point of contention. Like, why would you want to play this game and only has one solar system worth of exploration? Well, it's like, you guys have no idea. If you haven't played Star Citizen, you have no idea how much you can do in that one star system. There's a lot to do. So, whether you're playing with friends or whether you're off on your own, you will be able to find a ton of crap to do in this game. And that includes, the industry. I like industry. Big fan of that stuff. But the games I played that were similar to, this one in the past, it was extremely boring after a while. I mean, literally, it would definitely put you to sleep. So, what this is this an extension of the same ideas that have been explored in previous games, but they just make it so immersive, and it just feels so realistic, in the sense that I wonder if I should crack the other rocks. I just don't think it'd be worth it. 74, 78? Are you serious? Yo, this rock's got almost 7,500 mass. Still not a lot of Quantanium, though. I think I'm going to give it a whirl here. Problem is, it's going to be one hell of a bitch to crack. I just want to see if I can find one good chunk of Quantanium. That is a big rock. I'm not even making it. Look at this. Nothing's happening. Wow, that is a big rock. Well, let me see what one surge does. Well, that was a lot. So, I mean, that helped. This would be one hell of a tough rock to crack. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I'm actually losing progress now. Oh, I'm out of surge. No! Alright, well, I can't crack this rock. That's alright. That's a shame. That's alright, though. Got a good candidate here. So, let's take a look. Let's make sure we know everything that we're looking at. Alright, let's start extracting. Basically just another mode of the laser here. There's not a lot of Quantanium here. I'm lucky if I get half a hold. But, definitely not complaining. I will take it. I found a rock a lot quicker than usual. So, a good candidate is sometimes really hard to find. And that includes with the trick that I was doing with the scanner there. What the? Who the hey? Come back here. Where you going? Okay. That one has inert. It says 0%, but still, I'm going to save it for last. Honestly, try to avoid that stuff at all costs. It's essentially an impurity, and that could really mess you up. It's composition. Need a composition. Nice. Quantanium 100%. This is a pretty good rock. I'm not going to lie. I did not think it was going to be this useful. I took one look at the mass and the percentages, and I was like, well, you know, this isn't exactly my idea of an exciting deposit. That one sucks. That's beryl. That's not going to help me. That's quantanium. I've got to try to get out of here before the bad guys come. This is all beryl. Okay. Let's see here. That's mostly inert. That one's half. That one's inert. Let's see. Beryl, beryl, and inert. You can pick this up. Actually, looks like we did quite well here, honestly. This turned out to be reasonably useful trip. A reasonably useful trip, I must say. Anyway. But here's the... a little bit of a problem flying my ship here. Should I get the beryl, I wonder? I think I'm going to. Don't really think... It's not going to hurt to get beryl. So... I'm going to pick that up. Alright, well this was a pretty good rock, so... yeah, we're done. We're done, son. Let's get out of here. Bye. Yep. Trying to get a good picture there. Okay, so in order to avoid pirates, the one thing that you have to do, if you can, is don't take a direct route back to the refinery. Because if you do, you're just asking for trouble. Stay away from the direct path. So what I do is I go ahead and I take a brief detour to one of the other moons. So if we take a look here, there's this one. Walla Walla. And they let you go directly there, so you don't have to worry about orbital markers or some other crap. So we're going to go to Walla first. And then from Walla, we'll head back to the refinery. See, my dude's just chilling. He's wearing his street clothes. He's got his sweater on. You know. Who wants to wear all that bulky, sweaty crap? You know, I mean, an EVA is fun. Being able to survive a vacuum is kind of important when you're doing combat stuff. But I mean, if I'm just doing my thing, I want to be able to chill. So this is my chill mode, basically. I do a lot of combat. I enjoy the combat in the game. PvP happens a lot in certain areas, especially big events. There's a lot of PvP, but since there's really no consequences for dying, it's more fun than anything else. You know, it's no big deal if somebody gets you. You can just, you know, go back and get them, essentially. You know, and, you know, granted, you do have to buy stuff sometimes to replace, you know, the stuff that you lose. But honestly, when it comes to, like, gear, whether we're talking about, you know, weapons, armor, you name it, for the you know, on foot combat, it's very easy to get good stuff. In fact, sometimes when you go into some of these bunker missions, you can just pick up, whatever you want. Ooh, let's meet, it says. Take a look at that. Let's meet who? Oh. Uh-oh. She's the criminal contact. We hit pay dirt this time for sure. Well, it's really cool. I mean, I like to do stuff like this, like a call to arms. Always get a call to arms. That's like a universal thing. And then you can... I like the drug confiscation stuff. I love preferred qualifications. No ongoing addiction issues. Yeah, that probably is a good idea. You can evict people, criminals, squatters, basically. There's a lot of really cool stuff to do. So even if you're not, immediately doing organization stuff or orgs, which are the player groups, you can always find something to do solo. But the combat is really slick. Again, the only drawback, the space combat is fantastic. The only drawback is the on-foot combat. The NPCs are just criminally stupid. I mean, they are unbelievably dumb. So if that's a problem, if you don't like easy, like painfully easy, but honestly, even if it's easy, it's still fun. That's my position is it doesn't really matter, because sometimes they get a crack shot on you and you die, So just ultimately boils down to, if you must have a challenge, then go after other players. You will get a challenge. Because other players, especially people who know how to dogfight, will give you what you're looking for. Make no mistake. Some of these folks, they have setups like you wouldn't believe. We're talking they got, several hundred or even several $1,000s worth of, throttle and stick or stick and stick setups, and it's just unbelievable. I would never even think of messing with somebody who's got very good dogfighting capabilities, the innate skill it takes, and then on top of that they have superior flight equipment. Forget it. I ain't even... The reason why is because I would never put that stuff on my desk. It would just get in the way most of the time, because this is just one of, I think, maybe 2 titles that I'll be playing anytime soon that involve, space flight or flight in general. So, stuff like that would just be a waste of money and a waste of space for me. So I just accept the fact that there's people out there who could basically blow my ship up without even breaking a sweat. Even if I was in a better ship than them, they'd probably blow me up anyway, because they're better dogfighters and they got better equipment. And that's okay. Oh, yes, that sound. That sound means I'm going to blow up.
Please proceed to sign landing bay.
But all we have to do is park this puppy, and we'll be fine. That's all we got to do. Is park this puppy. This is one of the most popular refineries. I think it is the most popular refinery by far, if I'm not mistaken. So, and the reason why is because that moon is really popular for mining. Ah! I overshot just a little bit. That's okay, though. Just kind of come in at an angle. Landing gear down. Landing lights on. A little choppy. That's okay. Little framey. Again, very CPU heavy. It draws a lot more from the CPU than it should for a modern game, but that's because this game is based on an old engine. The game engine is actually from 2013, I think. So they got a lot of modernizing to do.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Okay, now I'm not safe yet. What I gotta do here is get the F out. They got a toilet. No joke. Look at how much work they put into this. I got a bed to sleep in. A water dispenser. That's like pretty cool. Shield generator, computer, gravity generator, jump drive, etc. All the access panels. All right. Anyway, time to go before my ship explodes. Wearing his Giorgio Armani or whatever the hell it is. Let's go. All right. So, we're not safe yet. We have to restore the ship. Basically, storing just makes the ship disappear from the hangar, and any quantanium on board which is volatile and on the verge of exploding will be in a much safer storage facility. Oh, render me some space station. So I hit store here. And there, you're safe. But you still have to do something with the quantanium. Like if I took the ship out again, it would still have all the stuff that I mined. So that would obviously defeat the purpose. Then I would blow up. Oh yeah. So, this is where we go to the refinery. Off to the refinery. In my cashmere sweater. Elevators are super fast now. They're super, super fast. In the previous patch, which was just like literally last week, elevators were painfully slow. And they were also deadly. Like, if you stood too close to an elevator door, you would straight die. It's got some shader issues back there. And they need to work on. But anyway, here we are. The refinement center. So, you have two ways you can handle what you mine. You could either sell the raw ore, which is great, because that means you don't have to take it out of the station to a trade center. You could just sell it right here. Or you can refine it. But if you do refine it, you will have to take the finished product to a trade center, which is going to be another trip, basically. It's worth it, though. I can't imagine not refining it. I mean, I'm not in any rush to get this stuff, but I only ever do the quantanium because if I do more than that, it takes more time. And you have many different ways of refining. I prefer the slowest, cheapest, and that would be Dinix solventation. Very low speed, low cost, high yield. Because I ain't in no rush. I get a quote. I don't want to refine anything else. I could refine the barrel, but I'm not going to. I get a quote, and it costs a lot. That really hurts the wallet. I mean, I got 7,500 credits, and this costs 4,000. So this really is going to sting. But, it would have been worse if I did the other stuff. And the other stuff really isn't, in my opinion, worth it. Your results may vary, but the goal now is to just, give it the time it needs to refine and then come back and pick it up. But one last thing I'll show before I call it a day. I'm just going to bring up the old Caterpillar. Because, granted, I just said that I'm refining them because I would refine it all. It just doesn't make sense not to. You're leaving money on the table if you don't refine. So naturally I'm going to refine, but that means you're going to have a lot of stuff to haul. And I mean a lot of stuff. So what do you need? Well, you need a damn good hauler. So the Prospector is an expensive ship. It costs about 2 million credits. So that's no joke. You're not going to start with a Prospector unless you pledged for it. But just to give you an idea, if you want to pledge for a Prospector, you're paying 150 real dollars. So no thank you. That's just stupid. But it's one of those you do you situations. That's from my point of view, and from my budget, that just seems absolutely out of the question. Would never do it, not worth it. But this this freight, medium freight ship is twice that. It's actually closer to 5 million credits if I'm not mistaken, but I love this ship. one of the best designed ships in the game, in my opinion. So we're on Hangar 9. So let me go ahead and head on down to Hangar 9. And we'll show you what I'll be eventually doing my hauling. And I'll wait until I have enough, obviously, to do a full load. But this is the Caterpillar in all of its glory. I just love the chrome look, man. It's got that real classic look. Everything that the Drake... There's different companies that make different ships, and Drake is the one that makes the Caterpillar. And Drake has a tendency to focus on designs that are very utilitarian. They don't focus on an attractive ship. They don't make the ship look good, but they don't make the ship look bad either. It's utilitarian. It's only designed to, fulfill a purpose. So it's only looking, appropriate in terms of aesthetic to the point where it needs to. Other than that, it's there to serve a purpose. It's not there to be pretty. That's Drake. That's what Drake makes. And you'll see more of the practical, no bullshit design in here. Drake has a tendency to not patch up their walls with pretty, siding or anything like that. So as we come up here, you'll see the stuff behind the frame, like all the insulation and stuff, just so everything's accessible for technicians and stuff like that. I mean, it really is just straight practicality, no bullshit design. Got a little bit of a break room here. Of course, sleeping quarters, just 2 spots there. And I'm dead. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, look at how long this ship is. I mean, this is all legitimately physicalized in the game. So everything that you're seeing here is flying with you. I mean, the whole thing is a legitimate model of a ship. And there isn't a part of this design that isn't with you in space when you go flying. It's not like you have to wait on a loading screen. It's not like you have to transition from exterior to interior. It's all being rendered at the same time. That's the glory of what they're trying to accomplish with this game. And the command access is right here. And there's a little turret seat here. If someone wants to man a turret. But as you can see, like I said, minimal design. Minimal aesthetics. That's Drake. And this is the ship that they're probably going to take from me. If they take a ship, because they overpaid us. If they take a ship, this would be the ship that they take. And I will cry many, many tears. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, this is what I haul in. So it's impressive design, and by all accounts, worth every penny if you can end up affording one. I can only hope to get one sooner rather than later when the game releases sometime between now and the time humans are walking on Mars. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Might do another one. We'll see. Be interesting to do a combat video, so we'll take it from there at that point. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.